This is a review and a giveaway of the Veikk Studio VK1200 pen display. Veikk kindly provided this device for a review, and while I did generally like it, I'm going to give it away to one of you watching this video, and it's going to be completely free of charge, including free shipping. Watch the whole video to find out why I am doing this and how to enter the giveaway. By the way, you will see letters and numbers appear throughout the video. They are a code for the giveaway, so watch the whole review and write them down. More information at the end of the video. I'm going to open up the box in a second, but first some basic info. This is a pen display. When it comes to pen devices, we have the following categories. On the one hand, we have pen tablets, and that is just a surface without a screen, which is basically mapped onto your monitor. On the other hand, we have pen computers. These are self-contained computers with a special screen which you can draw directly onto. A pen display is somewhere in between. It is basically a monitor, so it will require an existing PC or a laptop to connect to. But once it is connected, you can draw directly on the display. And some specs: the VK1200 has a working area of 10 inches by 6 inches. The pressure sensitivity is 8192 levels, which is plenty. And another important feature is full lamination. This makes the drawing experience much more natural, and supposedly this is a big deal, especially for a product in this price range. The price is around $180, by the way. I'll start the unboxing. I already opened the box once to test the display, but I put everything back together, so this is more or less what you're going to get. The display comes with this piece of cloth, which you can use to clean up the display. As with many pen devices, you'll get one of these gloves, which I personally never use, but a lot of people, especially those who spend a lot of time painting on a pen tablet, love these, so that's nice. Then we have the display itself. We're going to take a good look at it in a second. You get two pens, which is common with many tablets and pen displays, but what I find interesting here is that both pens are actually the same. Generally you get two types, a thick one and a thin one, but in this case you get two identical pens. At least that is what I see. You have a stand for the pen, which you can connect like this. And inside there are additional pen tips. And in here you'll get even more pen tips, so you get plenty of pen tips. And then we have some cables, which I'll explain in a second. When you get a new box, they will be neater. It's just that I already opened the box. And some quick start guides and driver download information. And next we are going to talk about connecting the device to your computer using these cables. It can be very straightforward depending on the ports that you have available on your PC or laptop. Personally, I had some issues connecting the device, but I'll show you exactly how I solved them. To connect the display, you have these three cables, but really there are only two possible connection types. One is using the USB-C to USB-C cable, and the other connection uses HDMI as well as USB. So if you have an USB port on your computer, then the USB-C to USB-C connection is the simplest one. So grab the device and find the USB-C port here. Plug this end of the USB-C cable into it, and the other end into the USB-C port of your PC. And if everything worked out, the display should turn on. But in my case, it says no signal. In the manual, it says that your USB-C port should support video, and I guess mine doesn't. So no bueno. I'm going to unplug this. And then I'm going to use the USB-C to USB cable. Plug the USB-C part here. And the black USB plug into one of my USB ports. Okay, then grab the HDMI cable and plug this part into the display. and the HDMI end needs to go into an HDMI socket. Now, unfortunately, the only one that I have is already occupied by my monitor. The other ports that I have are display ports. So I could unplug my monitor and use the pen display instead, but I don't want to do that. And so the solution that I found was to use an HDMI to DisplayPort adapter. So I'm going to plug the HDMI into the HDMI socket, and finally the DisplayPort end into one of my display ports. And that was the magic combination for me. As you can see, the screen is on and it is usable now. Okay, now the device kind of works, but it is not fully functional without its driver. So let's download the driver. I'm going to go to Veikk.com, go to Downloads, and download the Windows driver, and install the downloaded driver. And the Veikk icon should appear here in your taskbar. And actually, as soon as we have installed the driver, the tablet will be fully operational, which means that I can actually point with the pen and you'll see the cursor appear here. But that is not the only thing that the driver does. If I double click the icon here, it will show me the customization options. And so I can set up what the buttons of the stylus do. There is the mapping section, which you shouldn't have to adjust because it maps perfectly to the pen display. And while I'm here, I'm actually going to right click on my desktop and go to the display settings, and I'm going to place this second monitor, which is the Veikk display, below my monitor, because that is how things are organized physically in my workspace. And then finally we have function. And these are the 6 buttons that you see on the side of the VK1200. And the cool thing is you can set these buttons to any keyboard shortcut or even mouse clicks and so on. So you can fully customize these 6 buttons so that you need the keyboard less and you can focus fully on the drawing experience. And something even cooler is that you can have custom presets depending on the app you're currently using. So press the plus button and that will show you a list of applications. You can also browse to the application if it's not listed here. So for example, I'm going to want specific shortcuts for when I'm using Blender. So this is something that is essential that you should do with this tablet. But as I said, I'm going to give away the tablet, so I'm not going to spend any time customizing the settings. And here is something very important that I want to make you aware of. Go to Mapping, and you may have to enable this checkbox here, Enable Windows Ink function. And that is because without it, you may not have pressure sensitivity. So if I switch to the camera here and start a painting program, you'll see that there is no pen pressure. Actually, I have to enable it here first, but it won't work. But if I enable Windows Ink, then pen pressure will be enabled. So this was something that I had to Google, so I hope to save you the trouble. So if I was going to use this display, I would certainly do some sculpting in Blender, in which case I would probably set up these 6 keys to be something useful so that I don't need to reach for the keyboard, or I may need to rearrange my workspace a bit. But anyway, this is something that you need to figure out for yourself. And so the reason I'm not going to keep this display is because it is small for my taste. I'm not sure how it looks here in my hands, but I'm going to show you an image of this display next to my monitor. I have an ultra-wide monitor, which I love. It is absolutely perfect for my needs, and I personally need a little bit of screen real estate for my work. But this is just me. I'm sure this screen size will be just perfect for some people, and so I really hope that this tablet will go into the hands of someone who will enjoy it. Okay, so here is how to enter the giveaway. You'll get a link to this form here, and all you have to do is type a valid email address because I need to contact you in case you win. Then the second requirement, if you want to win, is to subscribe to Veikk's YouTube channel. If you're not already subscribed, click on this link and click the subscribe button. And then say that yes, I am subscribed. And then finally, type the secret code, which you should know if you watched the whole review. I'm not going to give you the actual answer, but the code is 5 symbols, and it's 2 letters followed by a number and then another 2 letters. So it would look something like this, DF5LK, or something like this. Once you have it all, click submit, and I actually made it so that you can check if everything is correct. Click on view score, and you'll see that step 1 is completed, but step 2 is not because I entered the wrong code. But if you enter the right code, both steps will be checked, and you'll have a chance to win the pen display. But if something is wrong, then go back and edit your response and submit again.